Hello, this is Matt on the Moon Lambo channel, and it's time to take an article out to the wood chipper. This comes from CryptoBriefing.com and is titled, Ripple and Santander XRP is going nowhere, but fanboys still won't listen. Well, I'll tell you what, this article really burns my biscuits. Don't worry, I'm going to treat it how it needs to be treated here, because the author here, Sarah Rothery, despite making, certainly, admittedly, some just factually true statements and some reasonable points, this individual, it's clear to me, does not understand the broader ecosystem, especially with some of the claims that they're making. I mean, to be clear, XRP is at the core of Ripple's business model. No two ways about that. But before we go any further here, if you would please delicately tap that like button, and also, if you agree that nonsense should be placed in the wood chipper, even if it's just a little piece like this from CryptoBriefing.com, go ahead and subscribe to the Moon Lambo channel. All right, let's dig in here. I actually read this the other day, and didn't really read it today, but I know that it's gonna, my thoughts on this are just gonna come rushing back as we run through this. Oh, actually, before I forget, this is important here. Credit where it's due. A shout out to Arthur Capone, who tagged me in this and ultimately brought this piece to my attention. And Arthur wrote, Moon Lambo, love your lucid and informed content. Can you counter/address the anti-XRP as investment points in this year-old article? And so I responded, I'll take a look at this. Thanks for tagging me. And Arthur then wrote, you got it. I appreciate you. A YouTube vid would allay a lot of fears of newbie investors who, naturally, might assume the author of that article is right. Basically, how do we know, even with the full financial institutional adoption, will XRP rise in value? Yes, and so even though this isn't a brand new article, it doesn't. These are the same critiques that I'm still hearing. Now, I want to be clear. I'm not a financial advisor, and I'm not offering financial advice. No financial background whatsoever. Do not buy or sell because of me, but I'm happy to share my opinions on this. Now, as far as your question as to how do we know XRP will rise in value, well, a couple things there. I want to parse out the differences between XRP value versus XRP price. Value would be, like, what problem are we actually solving? Is it valuable to humans for any reason? In this case, we're talking about it being XRP being positioned as a bridge currency. If you're talking about what Ripple's doing with it here, and when you're talking about price, that would really just be the current open market price of XRP, which today is like, I don't know, what, 28 cents or something, like 28, 29 cents, whatever it is. And so those are two different things. And so how do we know that it will rise? So if you're talking about the value or the price, whether you're asking me about either of those, how do we know it's going to rise? We don't. This is highly risky. Now, I will tell you that I am Mr. XRP Bull. I personally am very confident, and I'm really putting my money where my mouth is, if you guys have no idea. And I could not be more confident for the long-term viability of XRP in terms of value, but also price appreciation, because you're talking about very illiquid markets right here, and the market's going to have staying power, which is very important here to me. The crypto asset class is here to stay. So as long as XRP it continues to drive value, and hopefully in an increasingly so fashion, that's what I'm looking for. Now, as far as what they state here, let's jump into this. Oh, I'm ready to get my biscuits all burnt up again. Ripple has been in the headlines today as the Spanish bank Santander confirmed plans to extend the use of Ripple's Xcurrent network. The banking behemoth will be rolling out its OnePayFX mobile app to customers in Latin America, enabling a payment gateway for sending funds to the U.S. And I want to be clear here, there was a rebranding of Xcurrent. That's the messaging portion of Ripple's system. Is now just broadly known as RippleNet. And then Xrp was the name for what is now known today as on-demand liquidity, or ODL for short. So it's all still there. There was a rebranding, right? So they cite here that the XRP price jumped from 25 cents on Sunday to nearly 29 cents today, with XRP buyers giddy at the prospect of another giant leap for Ripple technology. The only problem? The news doesn't mean anything at all for the true value of XRP. And here, I don't think that they're parsing out the difference between value versus price. And sometimes I when I'm not thinking, I accidentally will conflate the two, just like sometimes people that know better accidentally conflate Ripple and XRP. Like, for me, that's super rare. I don't conflate Ripple and XRP. But sometimes I shouldn't do this, and I always try to do better, but I try to not conflate value versus price. I like to make the distinction. It is a real thing here. And then they have this little somebody, daily reminder, Ripple is not XRP. Yeah, no kidding. Ripple is a fintech company in San Francisco. XRP is a decentralized cryptocurrency. Anyway, she writes here, though, Ripple's Xcurrent is a real-time gross settlement system that operates independently of the XRP currency. The company's Xrapid product does use XRP, but this network isn't being embraced by the banking sector with the same enthusiasm as Xcurrent. Around 20 institutions are thought to be using Xrapid, including several cryptocurrency exchanges such as Bittrex or Bitstamp. Well, this is flatly not true. And keep this in mind as we're talking about this. Like, Ripple's doing something that has never freaking been done before. And if you understand how the correspondent banking system works, and you understand how Ripple is positioning XRP as a bridge currency, then you know that there is no other solution. The humans have not devised a settlement solution, which is what XRP specifically is used for. So either this will work, or we'll just have the legacy financial system in terms of settlement, and there will be no change. What do you think is more likely? Because this is a real solution that really works, and that's it. There's nothing else that does it. There's nothing else for settlement. It's other than this. It's just Nostra Vostra accounts continued on. And so as far as the actual adoption, and Brad Garland talked about this actually very recently, there's actually more demand than can be filled, and that has to do with liquidity. Because look, you got to understand, in order for these transactions to be filled, people have to be buying and selling XRP. There has to be liquidity on partner exchanges, because that's where the pools of liquidity are. So I'm talking about, your Bittrex, Bitstamp, Coins.ph, Bitso, BTC Markets. Those are officially partnered cryptocurrency exchanges with Ripple. And so that's why there's only a handful of corridors open. So it is the case that their customers want to build out faster, but understand this is not some failure of Ripple. And I was tweeting about this earlier too. It's not the case that it's Ripple's fault purely that there's illiquid markets here. This is the birth of an entirely new asset class. It's only been around a little over a decade. And so it's up to the people to determine what individual cryptocurrencies are worth. And there are people like me, and perhaps you consider yourself in the same category, maybe you do, of you're parsing out the differences between coins. Maybe part of the reason that you're in the XRP community is the same reason I am. It's getting used. There's true value here, which actually matters, right? Because price will follow value, I believe, right? That's my investment thesis is that utility matters and will win the day. And so, I don't think it's the case that it would be reasonable to state that with this brand new asset class where people on the whole, the vast majority of people are not behaving like, for instance, me, who's looking at the value, they're just betting on the asset class as a whole and diversifying, like quote unquote, diversifying their crypto portfolio, but they don't know what the hell's going on. It's just an illiquid asset class. XRP is a small percentage of the, I know it's third market cap, but it's only $13 billion out of nearly a $400 billion market cap, rather. And so people are not treating these cryptocurrencies, or rather they are treating the cryptocurrencies as if they were one, like they're making one single bet on the asset class as a whole. They're not taking the approach that I am. I would be the outlier, where I'm taking a look and like, no, XRP is getting used here. I think it's going to matter more and more as time passes. But Ripple, no matter what they do, and they are managing liquidity to the best of their ability, and I think they're doing it just fine so far as I can tell anyway, they can't magically make the asset class as a whole magically more mature instantly overnight. That is not how this works. And so as it matures, there will be more money coming in. There will be greater volume, greater liquidity, I suspect greater price as well, higher price, which will follow value. And then you get this exponential increase. Like that's how I'm expecting it to unfold. There's still no guarantee this is going to happen. And even in terms of price appreciation, I'm just optimistic that it will happen for a ton of well thought out rational reasons, right? And so this is a part that I think the author here is missing. That's what it comes down to, and I'm not sure that she understands that. And the piece continues. The X-current solution is more popular, with Santander one of the big name clients. However, the bank has gone to great pains to point out that it isn't associated with XRP. Well, yeah, Ripple tells you it's a messaging system. X-current, now known as RippleNet, it's just messaging. It's a better, and so it is a better form of messaging compared to Swift and SuperDuper. Like, that in and of itself is a great product. But for the messaging portion, there is no purpose for XRP. Why? What the hell do you like? If you think that XRP should be used with an X-current, you do not understand what messaging is. Okay, like there's literally no need for a cryptocurrency in messaging whatsoever. That's like saying like you just but it's part of what Ripple offers. It needs to be used. That's like saying like Ripple. Let's say Ripple on top of this also owned a pizza chain, and you said that XRP needed to be included and baked into all of their pizzas. That's how stupid it is. It doesn't make any freaking sense here. But I hear this from Bitcoin maxis and people that just don't know what they're talking about all the time. No, it's just messaging. You don't need XRP in that. It was never part of the plan here. It functionally couldn't do anything. I don't even know what does that even mean? And then the piece continues. So why does the value of XRP inflate every time there's a new development with Ripple? It doesn't. Yeah, so XRP almost, and she means price. She used the word value. She means price. XRP almost never follows the news. In fact, the only thing that news does really is help XRP to maintain its number 3 spot. But in terms of positive upward price action because of news, super rare. Anyway, she writes here, though, even CEO Brad Garlinghouse has made the same point, distancing the company from the third largest cryptocurrency, and Garlinghouse said, quote, if Ripple, the company, shut down tomorrow, the XRP ledger would continue to operate. It's open source, decentralized technology that exists independent of Ripple. And so she wants to point that out as a potential negative, which I firmly disagree with, but she writes, that cuts both ways. If the value of XRP goes to zero tomorrow, Ripple, the company, would continue to operate, albeit with a rather shorter balance sheet. Look, XRP is at the heart of Ripple's business model. Without XRP, there wouldn't even be a Ripple company at this point, frankly. I mean, because it would look completely different. Because look, Ripple was formed after XRP was created. And so in the early days, they didn't even know what they were going to use it for, because the creators were just looking to create a better version of Bitcoin, which they certainly did. And they called it XRP. But it's at the core of their business model. You know, there's a reason that they have a $10 billion valuation. There's a reason that they're going to be going public. We just don't have a date, but Ripple CEO Brad Garlinghouse made it pretty clear it's coming. Smart money understands that when they're investing, XRP is at the core of all this. There's no getting around that. And so the piece continues. Ripple is a privately held entity that exists independently of the XRP ledger, and it has the same purpose as any other private company, to make money for its investors. Those investors aren't necessarily holders of XRP. They are the likes of Anderson Horowitz and Digital Currency Group, owners of CoinDesk, who are among the earliest investors in Ripple. Of course, back then it was known as OpenCoin, and TechCrunch was reporting that OpenCoin was better known as the developer of open source payment protocol Ripple. If you happen to be an accredited investor, you can buy a piece of Ripple on an alternative trading system. Yeah, that's true. On secondary markets, if you meet very stringent requirements, you actually can purchase Ripple, the company, pre-IPO. Like even now, you could actually do that. But, excuse me. But owners of XRP aren't invested in Ripple itself, and they don't get to share in the company's success. Yeah, but understand, even if you own part of Ripple, like let's say they have their IPO and you actually do own some of Ripple, that's in a very liquid asset class. It'd be part of like the stock market, right? I'm not as interested in that. I'm interested in investing in XRP, which is an extremely illiquid market, which means that there's a much greater opportunity for asymmetrical regains, assuming that XRP is a staying power that I'm counting on. So, yeah, I mean, what she stated there is true. It's just not a negative, right? Since she writes, in fact, it's quite possible Ripple Labs still holds around half of the 100 billion pre-mined XRP, and while the company maintains that since most of this is locked in escrow, they can't touch it, that cuts both ways. Neither can anyone else. The company's Q2 2019 report states that it plans to take a more conservative approach to XRP sales in Q3, effectively prolonging their control over that supply. And so then you have the subheading, the value of speculation. So where is the value in XRP? At least part of it comes from the value of the Xrp payment system, which has seen limited use among a handful of financial institutions. The premise is that the banks will use XRP and Xrp, which is Ripple's liquidity solution for banks. Where there are two foreign currencies of low liquidity, banks can use the Xrp protocol as a medium of exchange. All true. But it's hard to see how this will raise the price of XRP beyond a speculative bump. Even if the banks flock to adopt Xrp, and start using XRP as a medium of exchange, there's nothing to indicate that this would push up the price of XRP. And so this is the part where you need to have an understanding of what the ecosystem actually looks like. It's not the case that the usage of XRP in some sort of mechanical way will increase the price of XRP. That's not how it works. But imagine this. If you're a retail investor or an institutional investor and you're jumping in to invest because you want to diversify in the crypto asset class, are you going to be more likely to invest in a cryptocurrency? Use your noggin here. Are you going to invest more likely to invest in a cryptocurrency that doesn't do anything, aka no value? Or are you going to invest in a cryptocurrency if you know that it's required for certain businesses to be able to conduct their business models? Because it is required for these businesses utilizing XRP as a bridge currency. They cannot operate their business model without it. So if you know that businesses are going to need it, might you invest? And if you do invest, that affects supply and demand. What does that do, especially in illiquid markets? What does that do in terms of the multiplier effect? And so that's the piece that she's missing right there. That's how this should work largely, right? But and then she continues here, though. In fact, the outcome could be the exact opposites. If banks do adopt XRP and start using it as a medium of exchange, these big institutions will have a vested interest in keeping the price of XRP stable to better serve its purpose. That's absolutely not true. As far as the volatility of XRP, first of all, it's less volatile than using the SWIFT system. Because over the SWIFT system, many of the transactions it depends on how exactly the corridor, but it takes place over a number of days. And as it turns out, the volatility associated with fiat currencies over that longer period of time is worse than the volatility of XRP over the 3 to 5 seconds settlement time there. So first of all, the volatility doesn't matter. As far as the price, she clearly doesn't understand that banks and remittance companies don't have to hold XRP. Rather, because others are choosing to trade XRP on cryptocurrency exchanges, we're just taking advantage within the system of that existing liquidity. Banks don't care what the price of XRP is. And frankly, if you're a cryptocurrency exchange, you probably don't care that much either. As long as you're making money on the buying and selling of XRP, it's only going to matter so much, right? And that's what their business model is. Banks don't care about this, so this is completely wrong. This is bogus. Anyway, she writes, that might go against the interests of XRP holders who hope that the value of their positions will increase with institutional involvement. In other words, the dream of the retail XRP token holder could be her worst nightmare. A speculative currency with very little speculative value. Oh my God, it's so funny. It's like the only cryptocurrency that's being used in the commercial production of anything, and they're just talking about it not having actual value. It's just a complete absurdity. It's on its face, it is ridiculous to write. It really steams my vegetables. A recent study by crypto analytics firms, the Tai.io, found that XRP was hyped significantly more than other major cryptocurrencies. In fact, the tweet-to-trading volume ratio was 6.6x the average. I didn't bother looking into that. I don't care if that's true. There's a crazy amount of hype in the crypto asset class. Comes with the territory. Not interested. Don't care. And then she wraps up by writing, Ripple is in the money business. Fanboys may not like hearing it, but unless Ripple makes XRP an essential element of all their core products, it may never find real value beyond speculation. So just between us girls here, that don't make no damn sense. And again, so she wrote that XRP must be used as an essential element of all of their core products, including the messaging portion. So there you go. It's the same thing as next time somebody says that to you, yeah, and if Ripple were running a pizza chain, we need to bake the XRP into the pizza. It's got to get used for everything. It's the core business. No, it doesn't serve a purpose there. Its purpose is for settlement. What do you functionally not understand about that? And then she's using the term fanboys here as a pejorative. You guys understand that too, right? Like, I'm not dim. She's doing that to make fun of XRP holders. Meanwhile, she doesn't know what the hell she is talking about. Hopefully that's crystal clear at this point. So, did I sufficiently take this to the wood chipper? I hope so. What do you think? Feel free to comment below. I do love hearing from you guys. I love you. That's it for this video, though. I am not a financial advisor. Do not buy or sell anything because of anything that I say or write. That would be a very, very, very bad idea. Until next time, to the moon, Lambo.